Chris McManus, MEP here for Midlands Northwest, and I want to welcome you to Brussels. And I'm delighted to be joined by my colleague, Senator Fintan Warfield. Fintan is our spokesperson on culture, housing and youth. He's been a Sinn Féin senator since 2016. He was also a councillor on South Dublin County Council, where he was that local authority's youngest ever mayor, and he's campaigned for marriage equality and the repeal of the 8th Amendment. So delighted to have you here, Fintan, this morning. First time in Brussels?
Thanks for having me, Chris. Second time in Brussels. Right. Yeah, I was here with our last MEP team, Leah, Matt, and Lynn, and Martina. Delighted to be back.
Great stuff. And you're here for a couple of days, and today's your second day. So maybe give us a rundown of what you've been at so far.
Yeah, yesterday we met with the Brussels Irish Unity Group. They're a non-partisan civic group here in Europe advocating for Irish unity. They're from NGOs, civil society, they work in the EU institutions, but Irish diaspora here advocating for planning for Irish unity. So it was good. As you know, we spoke about the need for representation amongst people in the 6 counties. Representation here in Brussels to scrutinise the legislation that's coming through that affects people in the 6 counties. And we also spoke about the need to plan for Irish unity. Mairead McGuinness was in the Seanad recently, EU Commissioner, and I was calling on her to expand on the decision by the EU Council back in 2017, the acknowledgement that in the event of United Ireland, that the entire territory of a new Ireland would become part of the European Union. But as you probably very well know from your own work, that advocating for that is difficult when we have an Irish government at home that refuses to plan for Irish unity and refuses to plan a citizens' assembly as well. So we need all of those things in order to ensure that the EU institutions advocate for Irish unity as well.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, because in the short term we obviously have a democratic deficit where we're out here making legislation and directives for 2 million citizens in the north of Ireland, but they have no voice here, and it's important we rectify that. But it's also important in the long term that we get the EU to get into that space where they realise that they have a role to play in moving towards Irish unity. So moving on to today, what's on the agenda?
I'm looking forward to an event, a GUI NGL event. Sinn Féin, the wider group here in the European Parliament, is holding an event on artists' income and working conditions. So I'm a member of the Culture Committee in the Oireachtas. We're dealing with RTE this week, but I'm very proud of the work that we've done on the committee in terms of a safe working environment for artists at home, free from harassment, free from assault, sexual assault, bullying and intimidation in their workplaces. Artists obviously face the cost of living crisis like everyone else, the cost of groceries and food, the cost of energy bills, the cost of rent and mortgages. But there are unique issues facing artists, the need for workspaces, low incomes that are so prevalent in the sector. So I'm looking forward to bringing our own experience from home here to that meeting and to learning about what the issues are facing artists here across the European Union as well.
Quite a busy 2 days and a kind of a packed schedule, and that's good to see. And I think it's important for people back home to know that this is, the kind of teamwork that we in Sinn Féin are very proud of, where our colleagues in the Oireachtas, in both the Seanad and the Dáil, and our MLAs in the Assembly, and ourselves over in Brussels, where we work together as much as possible, because part of our job is to ensure that we strive for economic justice and social equality, and obviously the primacy of working towards Irish unity. So again, thanks for being over here, Fintan. It was great to have you for the couple of days, and with that I want to thank you for joining us. So slán a cóide.